Get done, I have fun. It's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking through.
Hello and welcome to the Business Renovator. I am Coach Phil, and the title today is about the true power of BS. And I'm pretty sure it's not going to be what you're thinking of, but it could be wrong. Stay tuned. We'll be back to talk about the power of BS. A couple of things before we get going here is if you're watching this live, thank you for being here, whether it be morning, afternoon, evening, or the next day almost. Grateful that you're here. Thank you for being here. If you're watching it on the replay, please push, let us know. Go hashtag replay, let us know where you're from. And if you would be so kind to subscribe to our YouTube channel, that would be terrific. So the true power of BS, and it's not what you think it is. Now, BS usually means something a little bit nasty, but this is totally a 180. You're going to learn a couple of things, I hope, from that are formulaic in nature. One is I times V equals R, and the other one is E plus R equals O. So what do they got to do with the BS? Well, in reading and studying and always looking for ways to improve myself and assist my clients to get to their ideal end result, always looking for information and content that could support them and myself in that way. And I don't exactly know when the idea came to me or how it came to me specifically. I know I was doing some studying of some content, and it just like an epiphany came out of the Ethernet. And I always got stuck. Well, not always, but quite often I'd be dyslexic, or I'd get my mind muddled with two letters, and that was B and S. And the two letters were really not about bold stuff. It was actually, it's about belief and seeing. So Dr. Wayne Dyer used to profess that we need to believe it before we can see it. And in Napoleon Hill's work, he says whatever the mind of man or woman can conceive and believe, we can achieve. So it dawned on me that there's a better way to, another way to make sure that I don't get muddled up in the mixture of which comes first. Do you see it and then believe it, or do you believe it and you see it? Well, BS to me is we need to believe it before we can see it. It's not the other way around. There's a high percentage of people, though, that believe they can't believe it until they see it. There's a story about a fire and building a fire. You can't have a fire without doing the prep work first. And the prep work in this case is believing it, coming up with what it is that you would ideally like to achieve. That's why having goals, targets, and aspirations are such an important key for all of us. Because whether we choose to set a goal or choose not to set a goal, by either way, we've chosen. It's just that some settle for, as Brian Tracy says, the default for us is if we don't look forward to something, a goal, an aspiration, then we've defaulted to mediocrity. So if you would like to move beyond that, become a believer of BS. Belief to see it. Belief before you get to see it. Once you believe it, then you can see it. So what are the formulas? I times V equals R is imagination times vividness equals your reality. So that supports the BS, doesn't it? I think so. So imagine that you are going on a holiday, and I've got a beautiful picture. I don't even know where it is, but it's the ocean, and there's some rocks, like small mountains. I don't know what they're called. I'm not a geologist, but they're beautiful. And I'm looking up there to them because that's where they are. And if you were imagining yourself going on a holiday or even buying wanting a new car, the more we think about it, the more clear the image becomes. And the more clear the image becomes, the more emotions we have around it. And it's continue to do that thought process. Think about it, see it, the vividness of the picture, and the feelings and the emotions get larger, bigger, brighter, and becomes the fuel to take us to where we want to get to. So believing it is at a deep-seated cellular level before we can see it. So it's a hand in glove, but believing becomes first. So I times V equals R. Imagine it vividly, and you'll move towards reality if you act upon the ideas and hunches that you'll get. I could share a couple of stories around that, but at the moment I'll save that for another day. The other formula is if you look at your life and you're not happy with what it is, you don't like the outcome, don't like where you've landed in any area of your life, in several areas of your life, then what would it look like if it was fixed? And if you're not happy with the outcome, that means that there probably is something that you had imagined vividly or mildly vividly, or maybe just faintly, and you're not where you want to be. So going back to the I times V equals R, and then looking at your E plus R equals O formulas, you can check in with yourself. Where are you? If you're not where you want to be, the event, which is the E, or R is the response, you get to change one or two of those so that the outcome is different. So using those two formulas in your life on a daily, weekly basis, checking in with who you is, or if you have a mentor or a coach, you could have them help you with that as well. So what I want you to think about today is I want you to join the BS Club. The power of belief before you see it. Believe it before you see it. I want you to join that club for yourself, and it doesn't cost you anything. But what does it cost you if you don't join the club? That's the real question. And earlier on in that video, there was ask a business coach a question. I'm a business coach with Focal Point. We're a part of a network of a couple of hundred around the globe. And if you have a question for a business coach, my information is right above me. Send me an email. Ask me for a time where we can get together for 20 minutes, no strings attached. We'll just have a conversation, ask a question, and see if we can get an answer for you. And if I don't have the answer to your question, I'm sure within the network of coaches that I've affiliated with, we can find somebody that would be willing to give you 20 minutes to help you with your question. And before I leave today, the last thing is I want you to remember this. The you represents you because you are uniquely wonderful. So go act like it. That's all I have to say about that. Remember, you are wonderful.
I get shit done, I have fun, it's my time and I'm the